सुस्वागतम सुस्वागतम सुस्वागतम. ऑनलाईन एज्युकेशनमध्ये मी मधुकर शिरसाट. आज दिनांक 22/2/2022 रोजी इयत्ता 9वीचा विषय इंग्रजीसाठी आजचा माझा टॉपिक आहे सेक्शन 3 पोएट्री. हा क्वेश्चन पेपर फॉर्मॅट बेस्ड आपला टॉपिक आहे आणि आजच्या या विषयासाठी मी आपल्या शिक्षण विभागातील सर्व वरिष्ठ मान्यवर, आपल्या सर्वांचा लाडक्या खाडे मॅडम, CNO काशीपुरी गोसावी सर, गौरी मॅडम आणि माझे सर्व सहकारी आणि विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, आजच्या या ऑनलाईन तासाला आपले सर्वांचे मनपूर्वक हार्दिक स्वागत. I am Madhukar Sirsat Kandivali Municipal Secondary School. Today we are going to focus on section 3 poetry. Section 3 has two questions, question number 3A and question number 3B. So question number 3A and question number B are from the poetry. Question number 3A consists of 3 comprehension based activities carrying a total of 5 marks. Try to finish it within 10 minutes. So student should finish this question 3A within 10 minutes. And question 3B in this section is for writing appreciation of the given poem with the help of the given points. This question carries 5 marks. So student, you should try to write appreciation within 8 minutes. तर विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, यात प्रश्न क्रमांक 3 हा आपल्या सिलेबसमधील पोएट्री जे आहेत, आता आपल्याला टोटल 8 पोएट्री आहेत. 8 पैकी 6 पोएट्री यावर्षी अभ्यासक्रमामध्ये आहेत. तर या कवितेवर आधारित, कडव्यांवर आधारित 5 गुणांचा एक आकलनात्मक कृती असणारा प्रश्न आहे. क्वेश्चन 3B हा ॲप्रिशिएशन ऑफ पोएम म्हणजेच कवितेचे रसग्रहण चा 5 गुणांचा प्रश्न आपल्याला प्रश्नपत्रिकेमध्ये असणार आहे. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A आणि क्वेश्चन नंबर 3B. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A 10 मिनिटामध्ये जर सोडवला तर तो आपल्यासाठी खूप उपयुक्त होऊ शकतो आणि क्वेश्चन 3B हा 8 मिनिटामध्ये सोडवणे आपल्याला खूप आवश्यक असा आहे. तर विद्यार्थ्यांनो, प्रयत्न करा की या टाईम लिमिटमध्ये आपण तो प्रश्न प्रत्येकाने सोडवणे आवश्यक आहे. क्वेश्चन 3A. क्वेश्चन 3A, read the following extract and do the activities for 5 marks. So note here, in question 3A there will be 3 comprehension activities based on the poem extract. There will be A1 simple factual question and A2 complex factual activity and A3 is activity based on poetic device. मग विद्यार्थ्यांनो, की प्रश्न क्रमांक 3A मध्ये कवितांपैकी एका कवितेवर किंवा त्यातील कडव्यांवर आधारित आकलनासाठी आपल्याला प्रश्न असणार आहे. त्यामध्ये A1 जो आहे तो सिंपल फॅक्च्युअल ॲक्टिव्हिटी क्वेश्चन 2 गुणांसाठी आहे आणि A2 हा कॉम्प्लेक्स फॅक्च्युअल ॲक्टिव्हिटी हा 2 गुणांसाठीचा प्रश्न आहे आणि A3 पोएटिक डिव्हाइसवर आधारित ॲक्टिव्हिटी 1 गुण, अशा एकूण 3 ॲक्टिव्हिटीजसाठी आपल्याला विचारल्या जाणार आहेत. त्या 3 ॲक्टिव्हिटीज 5 गुणांसाठी आपल्याला असणार आहेत. So then A1, choose the correct alternative and complete the sentences. So in this question, A1 will be simple factual activity carrying 2 marks. This activity will be of objective type like true or false, complete the following, etc. A1 हा आपल्याला ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह टाईप क्वेश्चन आपल्याला विचारला जाणार आहे आणि या प्रश्नपत्रिकेमध्ये उदाहरणार्थ ट्रू, चूक की बरोबर, कंप्लीट द फॉलोइंग सेंटेन्सेस अशा पद्धतीचे प्रश्न आपल्याला या ठिकाणी विचारण्यात येणार आहे 2 गुणांसाठी. मग या सोप्या कृतीची उत्तरे आपल्याला कडव्यांमध्ये सहजपणे सापडतील. ही उत्तरे सूचनेनुसार काही शब्दांमध्ये, काही वाक्यांमध्ये आपल्याला अचूक शब्दांमध्ये लिहायची असतात. देन एक्झाम्पल, सेक्शन 3 पोएट्री, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A is read the following poem and do the activities for 10 marks. part A for 5 marks and part B for 5 marks. So here is a A1 for true or false. So student, focus on true or false. You have to read the stanza carefully and then you can write the proper answer. State whether the following statement are true or false. This is a type of question. So here you have 1, 2, 3 and 4 alternatives answer for 5 marks. So first is, the poet describes visible effect of moonlight on countryside at night. As the sun walks silently over the human settlements below, everything turns silver. The moving fish and water upstream turns silver by moonlight. The silver beams of moon is reflecting on the window. These 4 sentences you have to write only true or false. This is a poem, and A1 and A2 and A3, 3 types of sub questions here given. The A2 is, answer the following. Write the effect of moonlight on sleeping dog. Sleeping doves harvest mouse and fish for 2 marks. And A3 is rhyming scheme. Write any 4 rhyming pair from the poem. This is a very simple poem from syllabus and you can choose proper answer from these stanzas. Okay, so this is a type of question A, question 3.A. Then we have to turn question 3B. It is the very important question, appreciation of the poem, कवितेचे रसग्रहण. तर विद्यार्थ्यांना आपण A1, A2 आणि A3 हा क्वेश्चन 3B चा ए भाग आपण जो बघणार आहोत तो A1 मध्ये सोप्या कृतीची उत्तरे दिलेली आहेत. दिलेल्या कडव्यात कवितेत सहजपणे आपल्याला ती सापडतात. ही उत्तरे सूचनेनुसार काही शब्दांमध्ये एका वाक्यात एखादी प्रकारे अचूक शब्दात लिहायची असतात. सेक्शन 2 मधील A1 ॲक्टिव्हिटी आपण यासाठी बघायची आहे. A1 सगळ्या ॲक्टिव्हिटी बघितल्यानंतर हा प्रश्न आपल्याला अधिक सोपा होत जातो. A2 जो आहे तो कॉम्प्लेक्स फॅक्च्युअल ॲक्टिव्हिटी आहे 2 गुणांसाठी. ही ॲक्टिव्हिटी दिलेल्या कविता किंवा कडव्यांचे आपल्याला आकलन करायचे असते, अनुमान लावायचा असतो, त्याचा गर्भितार्थ मतितार्थ आपल्याला लावायचा असतो, निष्कर्ष आपल्याला काढायचा असतो, इत्यादींवर आधारित ही कृती असते. त्यांची उत्तरे देण्याकरता कवितेचा आशय, आपल्याला मध्यवर्ती कल्पना, विचार, माहिती करून घेऊन उत्तर लिहायचे असते. यात कंप्लीट द टेबल, चार्ट, वेब इत्यादी कृती आपल्याला विचारल्या जातील. येथे एखादा WH क्वेश्चनही आपल्याला विचारला जाऊ शकतो, म्हणून अशा सर्व प्रश्नांची आपण प्रत्येकाने तयारी करणे खूप आवश्यक आहे. A3 हा ॲक्टिव्हिटी बेस्ड ऑन पोएटिक डिव्हाइस असा हा प्रश्न आहे. हा 1 गुणांसाठी. पोएटिक डिव्हाइसवर आधारित या कृतीमध्ये रायमिंग वर्ड्स, रायमिंग स्कीम, फिगर ऑफ स्पीच इत्यादीपैकी एखादी ॲक्टिव्हिटी आपल्याला विचारली जाऊ शकते. देन क्वेश्चन 3B, appreciation of the poem. In this section is for writing appreciation of the given poem with the help of given points. This question carries 5 marks. Try to write appreciation within 8 minutes. हा क्वेश्चन 3B या प्रश्नामध्ये आपल्याला 3A मध्ये दिलेली कविता सोडून इतर कोणतीही एक कविता आपल्याला ॲप्रिशिएशनसाठी, रसग्रहणासाठी दिली जाईल. त्या कवितेचे रसग्रहण त्यासोबत दिलेल्या मुद्द्यांचे आधारे करायचे असते. त्यासाठी कवितेच्या विविध अंगांची, वैशिष्ट्यांची, घटकांची माहिती असणे आवश्यक असते. कवितेचे रसग्रहण ॲप्रिशिएशन पॉईंट फॉर्मॅटमध्ये लिहावे लागते आणि या सदर प्रश्नासाठी आपल्याला 5 गुण आहेत. तर विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, हे 5 गुणांचा हा जो प्रश्न आहे आपण जास्तीत जास्त 8 मिनिटांमध्ये तो समाप्त केला तर आपल्याला जो परीक्षेचा टाइम टेबल मॅनेजमेंट आहे ते व्यवस्थित आपलं होऊ शकतं. पोएम ॲप्रिशिएशनची जे मार्किंग स्कीम आहे, टायटल फॉर हाफ मार्क, नेम ऑफ द पोएट हाफ मार्क, रायमिंग स्कीम 1 मार्क्स, फिगर ऑफ स्पीच 1 मार्क and theme or central idea 2 marks. So in this year syllabus reduced, So we have to learn only 6 poem. First is walk a little slower. Hope is the thing with feathers. Comparison. Please listen. Coromandel Fishers. And what is success? So we focus all 6 poems appreciation forward. Walk a little slower. It is a very simple and very beautiful poem. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps and I don't want to fall. Sometimes your steps are very fast, sometimes they are hard to see. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for you are leading me. Someday, when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow me, and I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. So the author is unknown. Here we have 2 points found: title, walk a little slower, and unknown author. So other 3 points we have to focus. So turn to the appreciation. Title. The title of the poem is Walk a Little Slower. Poet. The poem is written by an anonymous. Anonymous means unknown poem. Rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B. Figure of speech. The figure of speech in the poem is metaphor. First, a repetition. Walk a little slower, Daddy. This line is repeated in this poem. Alliteration. Said the little child so small. The sound S is repeated. Metaphor. This poem is an example of extended metaphor. So, and the last one is tautology. Said the little child so small. Little child, small are two similar words used in this sentence. So, this is a appreciation of the first poem. Then another poem is central idea. The importance of the father as a role model is the central idea of the poem. The child in the poem wants to observe and imitate the life led by her father. Hence, the child requests the father to be more considerate towards her needs. It's a very beautiful poem. So, another poem for syllabus is Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, and the signs the tune without the word and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and more must be the storm. The sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I have heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me by Emily Dickinson. So hope is the central thing in this poem. It is also a very beautiful poem. So look at the appreciation of the poem. First, title. The title of the poem is Hope in the Thing with Feathers. And poetess. The poem is written by Emily Dickinson. Third point is rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme of the first 2 stanzas is A, B, A, B, and the third stanza is A, B, C, B. Fourth point, figure of speech. Alliteration, metaphor, and personification involved in this poem. So turn to the figure of speech, alliteration. Alliteration and on the strangest sea. Sound S is repeated in this line. Metaphor, hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is compared to the thing with feathers a bird. So here metaphor, personification. Hope is the thing with feathers. Here the word hope is described as a living thing, as a bird. So here personification happen. Theme or central idea of this poem is, the central idea of the poem is the role played by the hope in our lives. According to the poetess, hope is compared with the little bird that sits in everybody's heart. The author has shown hope is living thing. Hope helps in every difficult times and asks nothing in return. So here is a comparison, another poem. Comparison in different things. So fast as a spaceship, slow as a snail, big as a dinosaur, small as a nail, fierce as a tiger, gentle as a lamb, sour as a lemon and sweet as a jam, dry as a desert and wet as sea, square as house, round as a pea, cool as a cave, warm as toast, noisy as a road drill, quiet as a ghost, strong as an ox, weak as a kitten, hard as rock, soft as mitten, dark as tunnel, light as the moon, night time midnight, daytime noon, tall as a giant, short as an elf, crooked as a mountain path, straight as a shelf. The world is full of opposites, so think of some yourself. Poet is anonyms. This poem also written by unknown poet. Comparison is the title of this poem. And then turn to the appreciation. The title the title of the poem is Comparison. The poem is written by an unknown poet. Rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme of the first six stanzas is A B C B, and the last stanza six lines is A B C B D B. This is a rhyming scheme. And figure of speech, simile and alliteration. Simile, this poem is full of similes. Almost in each line of the poem, the word as is used to make comparison. And another one is alliteration. Slow as a snail. Yes is repeated sound, repeated word in this sentence. So alliteration happen in this sentence. Theme or central idea, last point of the appreciation. The central idea of the poem is given at the end, that is, the word is full of opposites. The poem describes the diversity in the nature. The poet compares many living and non-living things on the basis of color, shape, size, speed, taste, etc. So this is the central idea of this poem. Now turn to the another poem. It is also a beautiful poem for young and old alike. So please listen. In this poem, poet trying to say everyone, first we please listen carefully and then we want to speak on our opinion or thought. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I asked you to listen to me and you began to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problems, you have failed me, strange as that might seem. Listen, all I ask that you listen, don't talk or do, just hear me. Advice is cheap, 20 cents will get you both dear Abby and Billy Graham in the same newspaper. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless, maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. When when you do something for me, that I can and need to do for myself. You contribute to my fear and inadequacy. So we have to go through this poem. But when you accept a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and you get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. And when that's clear, the answer are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes. For some people, because God is mute and doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out of yourself. So please listen and just hear me. And if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn. I will listen to you. This poem also written by unknown poet. So now look at the title. The title of the poem is Please Listen. Poet. The poem is written by unknown poet. Rhyming scheme is of this poem is pre-verse. There is no rhyming scheme in this poem. Figure of speech, alliteration and repetition are the figure of speech. Alliteration, don't talk or do, just hear me. Sound D is repeated in this poem, and repetition is when I ask you to listen to me. This line is repeated many times in this poem, so here is a repetition. Theme or central idea of this poem is the poem describes the importance of listening that we are losing nowadays. The speaker or poet is requesting others or his fathers to listen instead of giving advice. People have habits of giving advice and offer help without knowing the problem of others. The poem is a humble request to the elders and it is a complaint about the elders also. So another last one is Coromandel Fisher. This is also coast related poem, beautiful poem. Coromandel Fishers, rise, brother, rise. The awakening skies spread to the morning light. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child that has cried all night. Come, let us gather our nets from the shore and set our catamarans free to capture the leaping wealth of the tide, for we are the kings of the sea. No longer delay, let us hasten away in the track of the seagull's call. The sea is our mother, the cloud is our brother, the waves are our comrades all. What though we toss at the fall of the sun, where the hand of the sea gods drive? He who holds the storm by the hair will hide in his beast our lives. Sweet is the shade of the coconut glade, and the scent of the mango grove, and the sweet are the sands at the full of the moon, with the sound of the voices we love. But sweeter, O brother, like kiss of the spray and the dance of the wild form's glee. Row, brother, row to the edge of the verge where low sky meets with the sea. So here is a poem written by Sarojini Naidu, a Nightingale Sarojini Naidu. So now turn to the appreciation of this poem. Title of the poem is Coromandel Fisher's Poet. The poem is written by Sarojini Naidu. Rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme of the stanza is AABB, and figure of speech here personification, simile and metaphor in this poem. Personification. The wind lies asleep in the arms of the dawn like a child. that has the cried all night. So here in the above line, down has been personified as a mother. And similes, the wind is compared to child. So here simile and a metaphor, she is our mother. She is compared to mother without using as or like. So here metaphor. Theme or central idea of this poem is the poem addresses the fishermen, telling them it is early morning and time for them to wake up and set out in their boats to harvest the asset of the sea. The speaker presses the sleeping fisherman to wake up and prepare to ride the stormy waves of the sea. A life of comfort spent relaxing in the cool shade of trees is very relaxing. But the speaker tells that a life of hard work is much better, much better. So, dear student, the another poem is What is Success? What is Success is very important and a very beautiful poem for our younger generation. To laugh often much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of the false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Ralph Waldo Emerson, of the poet, uh, of the poem What is Success? It is a very deepest thought in this poem. So everyone should enjoy when we read this poem and apply to our life. So we have to look appreciation of this poem. 4.1, What is Success? The title of the poem is What is Success? Poet or author. The poem written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Rhyming scheme here. The poem has no rhyming scheme. It is a free verse. There is no rhyming scheme in this poem. Figure of speech, to leave the word a bit better. Alliteration sound B is repeated in this poem. So alliteration happen in this poem. Our last point is a central idea. The poem is about success. Success gives happiness, and a person who wants to be a successful should have positive attitude. Here he or she find the best qualities in other people. A successful person wants blessing for everyone. So in this type of appreciation, we got 5 out of 5 marks. If you if all of you try to write in this way, in this manner, you will get 5 out of 5 marks for question 3b. So all my dear students, we already focus on section 1, section 2 and section 3. So everyone should focus every section carefully, marking scheme and types of questions. So section 3 also very easy section, and you will get 10 out of 10 marks of this section. So here question number 3, read the following extract and do the activities for 5 marks. Then A1, A2 and A3, three activities involved in this section A. Question 3b for appreciation. In this section you have to write through the point, the title, name of the poet, rhyming scheme, figure of speech, theme or central idea. So in this way we can impress and we get out of 10 marks. So all the best all of you. Subscribe our channel, like and share. All the best for your future.